The Abundant Use of Abundant Energy by Toby Barron.
There are two types of energy, non-renewable and renewable energy sources. Renewable can be replaced rapidly, and non-renewable will run out and run out forever. But renewable energy may still come back, but it will take a lot longer.
Energy has been used in history since the beginning of time, evolving with every generation from Egyptians to Romans to modern electricity and consumption of natural gases. It wasn't until about 1854 that the windmill was used as a means of creating energy. Large oil rigs dot many states such as Texas and the western side of North Dakota, producing approximately 9.2 million barrels of oil per day. 48.5% of the country's maximum supply of non-renewable energy comes from Midwestern states. The world today runs on about 15 terawatts of energy per day, made from various sources such as nuclear power plants, coal-burning power plants, windmill farms, and hydroelectric power plants, used for things such as cars, electricity, and everyday items like that. There are 400,000 windmills rated at 2.5 megawatts in America alone. Wind energy grows about 50% a year and will be up to 1 million windmills by the year 2020.
38,306,240 cubic feet of natural gas was used across residential, commercial, industrial, electric generation, and transportation power this year. Natural gas is mined by means of hydraulic fracturing, which is pumping fluid into the ground, breaking up sedimentary rock to release gases that may be trapped in the pores inside. Oil rigs have also now begun to trap the natural gas that is released from their drilling process and using it also to be produced as energy and to be used in residential, commercial, industrial, electric generation, and transportation power throughout the world.
Energy producers work to restore land that they have used for mining purposes with coal, oil, or natural gas. A good example of this is the Mine Hills east of Beulah on our way to Hazen was restored from coal mining, and also south of Beulah they have restored land out there from mining coal from there too. Natural gas is mined by means of hydraulic fracking, which is putting water into the ground mixed with sand and stuff to break up granite rock and release the natural gas in the ground.
Mining reparations have to be done to the land after the mining finishes in that certain area, or the mine may face heavy fines and possibly lose business anywhere close to where they have wanted to mine.
The Great Lakes in 2015 produced 90 billion cubic feet of natural gas and 2 million barrels of oil without harming the environment or receiving any fines. This is good because it made it easy for the companies to restore the land. Alaska, where only 2,000 acres out of 19 million are being drilled for oil and gas at a time with a low ecological impact, making it again easy for them to restore the land back to its former glory. In Alaska, producers used 1,500 acres and 1,400 acres was restored and paid $250,000 for the last 100 acres that they used to mine oil or natural gas. The production rate of natural gas is approximately 11.4 trillion cubic feet of gas per day, which is enough to power a large city for about 3 days. Now, 600 coal-fired electric plants in the United States produce about 55% of the energy for the East Coast and Midwest, while 103 nuclear reactors quietly deliver about 20% of America's overall electricity. In addition, the annual residential gas consumption rate is 22%, but the industrial gas consumption rate is about 41%, using about 10 million cubic feet of gas per day. Natural gas can be mined just about anywhere that granite rock is available to be hydraulic fracked and for the gas to be released and captured. Whereas oil can only be drilled where there is large oil reserves underground, sometimes buried up to miles beneath the surface of the ground. Oil rigs have large pipes and drill bits to drill down and crush any rock or anything that stands in the way to get to these large oil reserves. Any natural gas that is hiding in these reserves is then burned off by a flare to prevent any harm from coming to the workers. The melting of the polar ice caps is dated all the way back to the 1700s, long before the Industrial Revolution, meaning that global warming isn't caused by any industrial advances in technology such as natural gas production, nuclear energy production, or the drilling of oil. Also, not harmed by multiple cars on the road and exhaust from that. Operations use fuel cells that cleanly produce about 1 to 20 megawatts at 70% efficiency to power their offshore drilling rigs or large nuclear reactors. Wind energy does not produce any sort of emissions, whether that be sulfur dioxide or any nitrous oxides that can cause acid rain, along with coal-firing plants use scrubbers to scrub the exhaust and mix it with steam, so out of the stacks comes steam as opposed to carbon dioxide or any noxious chemicals that may cause pollution in the atmosphere. Many people associate the exhaust from large electric plants such as coal firing or nuclear plants as pollution in the air, but carbon dioxide is a very potent part of our atmosphere and allows us to insulate and keep warm from the sun.
But other companies such as coal mining and power producing companies also do not create acid rain because they have used scrubbers to get the sulfur dioxide and other nitrous oxides out of their exhaust. The automotive industry has also started to cut down on exhaust produced by their cars, making them either electric or upgrading the catalytic converters in gasoline engines, and also installing diesel scrubbers to be injected in the diesel exhaust to prevent it from being dirty and producing any toxic chemicals that may harm the environment or anything to do with that. The government is also helping to try to make the exhaust made by companies and vehicles in energy production or energy use cleaner, creating government branches to regulate how much the exhaust is affecting the environment and polluting the atmosphere.